Start. Hello, folks, and welcome to the first November meeting of the Node Bootstrapping Working Group of the ClusterAPI project. ClusterAPI project is part of the CNCF, and as such, we adhere to the CNCF Code of Conduct. Please be nice to each other. We have a very small loop, so usually everybody gets to say something. But if you find someone just talking without end, like me right now, just raise your hand, please, to make sure that you'll be heard. Thanks for joining. All right. We don't have any topics on the agenda. I think, Alice, you had some questions on the two repositories where the work is currently happening.
Not exactly. So
Okay.
I just start today. I wanted to try to bring up everything together and um, try to understand what it's missing and the status. So, but maybe one question about the refactoring on copy. Are we actively working on that, or it's
No,
kind of a
it
no?
so the maintainers who picked it up earlier have
Mm-hmm.
assigned to different items, so I guess
Mm-hmm.
it's just us for the time being.
Okay, yeah, I see.
On the other hand, you can go ahead full steam and no one will stop you with doing anything because it's basically up for the taking. And
Yeah,
the
yeah. I was asking. I mean, if somebody is going to, I mean, of course, if I fork and maybe do some changes and open a PR, I will give credits, of
I
course.
don't, I don't, I don't think we would need to fork. So there's two repos, right? There is the
Yes.
like the kubeadm
Mm-hmm.
rework where we're trying to make it a kubeadm ignition bootstrap provider.
Yeah,
And
no, I'm talking about the copy one.
okay. So I want to
Refactor.
move this repository to a GitHub org called Flatcar Hub, which we
Mm-hmm.
maintain for upstreaming stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it is very like low threshold and straightforward to give you a maintainer or even administrator account for that repo on that fork. It's currently
Mm-hmm.
with Johannan's personal repositories.
Yeah.
So, because he's looking into other things right now, I think it's worth forking it. So let me actually do it right now. The links are in the agenda.
Yeah, so yeah, my question was if there is already an open PR. I don't think so. I haven't seen one.
No,
And
it's no, it's there's we haven't been in a state where this was like PR ready.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so let's fork this really quick into.
Yeah, so I will give it a try and see if I can manage to create a VM with Flatcar and
There's already a repo in. Let me see. There's already a cluster API fork in Flatcar Hub, but I'm not
okay.
aware of any work going on there, so I'm not sure what it's doing there.
Mhm.
Let me take a look. No, it's I see it. It is indeed I did that fork to propose this very working group, which would
Yeah.
just the readme to the. So let me just delete that repo and then we can fork it again. Settings, danger zone, delete this repository. There's no going back. Unexpected bad things will happen. I kind of like it, right? Because it is dangerous, but then it's just a tiny change in a README, so I'm good. Blessings of 2FA. All right. And it's gone. So we can now retry this. All right. And I'll actually replace it in the agenda doc. There's a link on the first page, which was pointing to Johannan's, but we should now point to the Flatcar Hub one. I'm not sure, did I add you to the
To the
kubeadm ignition,
Flatcar organization, no.
to the kubeadm ignition provider also?
No, you just shared the link, but I don't think we have
I
any.
gotcha. Let's do it right now.
As you want, but yeah, as I said, first today and tomorrow we'll try to get something running,
Yeah.
and
I just want you to have like the best and most direct access to this and not
mm,
put like more barriers in your way, like being required to fork this. Okay, direct access, add people. Would you mind dropping your
yeah, my
GitHub
GitHub.
and maybe bpins as well in the
Yeah,
chat so I can get
yeah,
this?
VPN, I need to find it.
Okay,
I will put it in the note. Um, so this is Marvin. VPN. Yeah, VPN has complicated name. I forgot which one.
this is actually fine because I'll give you admin rights so you can add him.
Yeah, I can add him later.
Okay.
But he is busy with something else, so
Okay. You are now an admin of both repositories.
okay, thanks. I think I should.
All right.
Yeah, I got the email as well, so thanks.
Nice. Okay. Leonard, I think it's the first time I see you here. Is there anything you want to share?
Not really. I noticed the new time, which I very much appreciate. I had hard time joining before. I wanted to just check what's going on. This sort of interests me, but I haven't had time to really look into it more. I'm a little bit involved with the in-place upgrade work going on,
Nice.
so more focusing on that. So yeah, nothing really to share. But I'm coming, by the way, from Capo. I'm maintainer of the OpenStack provider, so
Nice.
that's where most of my copy time probably goes, and in MetalCube also.
How are your experiences in Capo with Flatcar? I remember like back in the day, but that was ages ago. Folks loved our work there. So how is it nowadays?
It's rolling along. We are using Flatcar. I think we have 2 Flatcar tests in the end-to-end suite, and yeah, I'm not sure. They are probably the ones that are least troublesome. The Ubuntu one, I mean, it's not a problematic in itself, but we don't really have the infra to build images, so I have to do that manually and then upload them.
Yeah. And so in
But yeah,
Flatcar, since you're using the SysExt work, the SysExt composing, and you're looking into in-place updates, is that of any value to you? Because we're basically under the hood without Cluster API realizing we can do in-place updates of Kubernetes, and we've done so.
yeah, I mean that's something I'm hoping to be able to test with in-place upgrades. So that would probably be the like easiest thing possible to do versus I don't know how we would do it for Ubuntu, some SSH in kubeadm upgrade something.
Nice. And then Fedora CoreOS is joining the crowd as soon as we have stuff going for Ignition 3. And that's amazing because I like choice. Choice is great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really cool work. But it looks like do I get correctly that the Bootstrap working group. It's sort of getting started, but there isn't really.
It's getting started again, sadly.
Uh,
So we started beginning of the year actually, and we put in a bit of foundational work to make the whole development experience work well on Flatcar. So we integrated the KubeVirt development workflow, and previously it was only was it I'm not sure, the Docker-based one, the Docker provider. And since both Fedora CoreOS and Flatcar are configured at very, very early boot on the init RAM disk, just booting a container image doesn't really configure anything on Flatcar, so that doesn't work for us. But
Yeah.
then Johanna integrated KubeVirt and then started the refactoring work and the basically writing a new kubeadm ignition bootstrap provider based on kubeadm cloud in it. And those are the two things that were ongoing until I would say August, September. And then they kind of they dwindled down and they're almost collecting dust, but they're still good to pick up. So if you have any interest in joining forces there, and jumping in on the bootstrap provider, and that would be very, very welcome.
Yeah, I think I cannot really promise at least yet, but let's see how the in-place upgrade stuff goes. If I get less to do there, then maybe more here. But it's good to see that it's progressing. Yeah, the bootstrapping and in-place also is of great interest in the bare metal stuff that we are doing at Ericsson. So
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking into those from that point of view also.
Actually, so it's an interesting thing for cloud providers as well, because it's not noticeable from the user side, but there's a ton of churn going on in the back end when you throw away a virtual machine and create a new one, right? I mean, for users,
Yeah.
it's simple. It's just two API calls, right? But in the back end, we need to make sure the resources are freed and recycled and no data is left anywhere. So it's actually just updating large Kubernetes clusters by deleting VMs and then recreating VMs is actually a ton of overhead for cloud providers too. So that's a very interesting thing to have.
Yeah, and the speed up. I mean,
yeah,
that's awesome if you can just do a sort of switch and suddenly you have the new version.
Exactly. Yeah. So some folks in Flatcar have been experimenting with continue to forget like the term. It's like systemd soft reboot or soft reset.
Mm-hmm.
Basically shut down everything except the kernel and then basically reinstate user space. I mean, Flatcar boots really fast, between 5 and 10 seconds, depending on the environment, but that cuts stuff down to milliseconds and then your Kubernetes is restarting. So that is a nice thing. It's far from production ready right now because there's a ton of edge cases, of course, but it's an interesting direction to take for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What would you say is the sort of next step for the? I see there are two things going on, right? It's the ignition bootstrap provider, but then the other one I didn't really get this abstraction something.
All right, yeah. So right now, a lot of assumptions are hardwired into core cluster API on features and on specifics of first boot configuration of nodes. And
Yes.
all of these are glued to Cloud Init up to the point where you actually have Cloud Init semantics in the code. And it makes sense, when you start with that and you focus on this and you're not aware of other options, then you just write it this way, right? And when we introduced Ignition as an alternative configuration provider, I think 3 or 4 years ago, there were a lot like if then else clauses that we added in the code. And at some points, we just needed to emulate cloud init behavior just to make things work. Now, that has become a maintenance burden for upstream ClusterAPI. And so the two work streams are the actual kubeadm ignition provider, right? That then only talks ignition, and then providing a upper level interface, an API for core ClusterAPI to just plug into that without interfering and without the branches that we currently have between the cloud init and the ignition provider. This will also affect the cloud init provider, which upstream has signaled will be like will remain part of core ClusterAPI. But if you follow the provider pattern for the kubeadm ignition provider, the user experience will be seamless anyways, because this pattern is widespread across all of ClusterAPI. So you just determine I want this provider for bootstrapping. But right now, upstream ClusterAPI doesn't know about multiple bootstrap providers, right?
Yeah.
I think I heard from I might be mistaken if it was the KubeSpray or the K3S team. It was the K0S folks. The K0S folks have their own bootstrapping, again, obviously, which isn't kubeadm, which is their own thing, because K0S is all one binary, and they reinvent the whole wheel again. Because there's no pluggable bootstrap provider thing, right? So this is some foundational work that we're doing here.
Yeah, I have also come across that. Like at first, you think that the control plane provider is separate from the bootstrap, but then you notice, for example, Kamaji has the control plane provider, but you can only plug in kubeadm based bootstrap providers with that because they speak the same language. So yeah. But I guess that is probably not the first thing to fix. Or
it's definitely also part of the roadmap for later on. So we are aware of the control plane provider things. We were just hoping that the bootstrap provider work will iron out like most of the API questions that we have. So after we've done that, it'll just be a straight out work and like nothing to reinvent, nothing to invent there.
Makes sense. Sounds like a lot of work, but very good.
Yeah, it's refactoring, right? It's not the like most shining and sparkling of things to do, but I mean, yeah, it's plumbing level stuff. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Cool. I don't know if I have anything else, but this was really good for me to learn about.
Okay. Alice, anything else I can do for you?
No, I will try to get things running. That's the first goal. And then if I have a question or something, I will get back to you.
I will talk to Johannan if he can spend some time with us in the next meeting. It's a lot more beneficial at this time slot for him as well. So it meets his time slot a lot better. And he mentioned that was some weeks ago, but he did mention that if there are any questions, he would be very happy to help mentoring people into his work. So I'll pull him into the meeting.
So the idea, just to give you some time frame, will be me spending maybe one or 2 days per week to try to evaluate by the end of the year the effort, basically, because I already mentioned to you last time that we are working on confidential cluster, and we are really missing the part for upstream copy. So right now we are testing with OpenShift, but it's a lot of OpenGL is pretty heavy, so
Mm,
having something easier and like a vanilla Kubernetes will help us with a lot of testing. And we might need also to touch the bootstrappers for confidential clusters. So this is something again that might build on top of what you are doing for the bootstrappers. So yeah, but I need to have an idea how much work it is right now. Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So if you have any questions or if you want to share any details, feel free to ping me on Slack, and then
Yes,
we
I
do
will.
that.
Thanks.
All right. Then thanks both for joining. I hope to see you back on November the 20th, and have a great day.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.